Welcome back to Division Therapy. This is episode 4, and we are finishing up the first full week of the MLB season. How you feeling, Brett?
I'm feeling okay. Mets are just coming off. We're filming this on Sunday, April 5th, so the end of the series. Mets looked pretty good against the Giants. I still have my concerns, but comeback win from today, saying it looked good. We'll get into it obviously a little bit more, but
Yeah.
I'm feeling okay. What about you?
Yeah, I'm like, hey, look, I was right on my prediction. We went 2-2. We started the series. We had two great games to start the series against Arizona, and it really seemed like we were going to continue kind of our dominance that we usually see in the desert. And then unfortunately, it kind of all fell apart. And then the second two games, obviously, we'll get a little bit more into detail, as you said. But yeah, obviously, I'm a little indifferent. I'm a little pissed off, and I'm about to talk about why shortly. But yeah, obviously, it could have been significantly worse. So,
Definitely could have. You could have ended up like the Nationals. I mean,
oh
a
God, that was
terrible loss
brutal,
today.
man.
Yeah, as far as the Mets go, 4 game set against the Giants. First game on Thursday, David Peterson looked terrible. I mean, this guy
Yeah.
was throwing beach balls to the Giants, and the Giants lineup is not very potent, but everything that he was throwing, it was getting hit and hit with at hard contact. So I don't know what's going to happen with him. He obviously could lose his spot to Mania at some point, or if an injury happens, like Mania's right there.
Because Mania came in and then obviously had the 4 innings to finish it off, right?
Exactly. And
Yeah, yeah.
he looked okay. I mean, the guy's not hitting 90 miles per hour, which is just insane. Like, he was
Yeah,
so
that's
good 2 years ago. He mimicked Chris Sale, obviously, of the Braves, and he looked great. He got that contract. Everyone knew at the time that contract was going to be a huge mistake, and it's looking worse and worse by the day. And then, Friday, I said my panic level was a little high. It's because of this. Juan Soto.
Jeez.
They've been very secretive about what is going on.
Yeah.
Calf strain for Juan Soto. Not sure if it's going to be an IL stint. If it's me, if I'm running the team, put him on the IL. Put him on the IL for 2 weeks. Just let him get healthy. I mean, these games are obviously every game is important. But
So he was on the bench. So he was on the bench. He's
Yeah,
not been
yeah,
on the IL. So
he
he
has
was on the bench.
not-
He just wasn't starting.
Exactly. They're still
Yeah.
trying to figure out a designation for him right now. I don't know. A calf strain, like, tissue. It's just like throw him on the IL. Let him
Yeah.
rest up. Give him 2 weeks. Jared Young looks pretty good. His replacement. But we definitely have a big prayer circle on Mets Twitter and Mets and Mets fandom for Juan Soto right now. I thought it might have been just cramping. Obviously not the case. But it sucks because it totally overshadowed Nolan McLean's night. And I know the line doesn't look as strong as it could, but he was filthy, dude. He looked like the best pitcher in baseball during this outing. I mean, the spin rates on his pitches are like disgusting. He's such a swagger to him.
What do
He's
you think is his
athletic.
best pitch?
Dude, there there was a pitch. I believe it was the end of the 5th or 6th inning. We'll clip it right now, but
Yeah.
it was so nasty. Like, it just looks like he's throwing a wiffle ball out there. Like, it just doesn't look like he has the same baseball that every other pitcher
Was it the
has.
sweeper or curve cutter? What do you think it was?
I think they're calling it the curve. I think they're
Okay,
calling it the
okay,
curve. It might have
okay,
been
yeah,
the
yeah.
sweeper, but like,
Because he
I don't
doesn't
know.
use it very often. I'm like, obviously,
He doesn't.
I'm like, he's pretty even. Obviously, sinker, he uses the majority of, he had 28% of the time. But then the sweeper, the cutter, and the curve all have 10% usage. You know what I mean? So he really is using all of the things at his disposal to have success. And if everything's working right, I'm like, hey, that's going to be difficult for hitters to be able to pick on. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and I mean, shout out Pitching Ninja for all these, all this info is so cool. We get to
I
see
love
the spin
Pitching Ninja.
rates
He's
and
awesome, man.
he's
He's
awesome.
awesome. Yeah, yeah.
And then, there was a moment in the game where Nolan McLean had a perfect game through 5, right? And
Yeah.
the 6th inning, there was a 3-2 count to Patrick Bailey. Alvarez or McLean, but Alvarez really should have challenged the 3-2 pitch because my thoughts are, and the broadcast, obviously agrees and whatever. And my thought is, if you're going to use ABS, use it in a high leverage situation.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to be high leverage in the game, but if it's a 3-2 count and it's the difference between a walk and a strikeout, that feels pretty important. Like I get not using it on an 0-1 count, an 0-0 count. Like, that doesn't really change the at bat too much, but a 3-2 count, that's going to change incredibly. And then
Yeah, I'm like, I think that there's an argument to be made that like teams shouldn't use ABS till after the fifth inning. You know what I
mhm,
mean? Like, I really think that realistically, a strike in the second inning that is really kind of useless because a batter just wants that strike or wants
right,
that ball
right.
because of his ego. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Like,
like all
I
the
really,
gamesmanship. I like the strategy involved in
yeah, yeah,
ABS.
it's
But
awesome.
yeah, and then yesterday, offensive explosion. We'll talk about this more, but Mark Vientos, is he
Is he?
is
Oh
he
man,
back?
yeah,
He
that's
might be.
crazy. That's crazy.
He might
He
be.
he obviously was not terrible down. Obviously, his defense left a lot to be desired last
Tons.
year. But obviously, he was great last year. He wasn't a bum. But I'm like
Mm, he was a
what
bum. He was a bum.
you think?
He was a bum. Yeah.
Okay, I'm like I
I
don't
mean,
know.
this
I'm like
offseason, I would have traded him legitimately for a bag of chips. Like he's
really.
yeah, he's positionless. He had nothing last year. Like, and it sucked because he was coming off such a strong year and such a strong postseason where he
Hmm.
was really one of the guys in 2024 for the Mets down the stretch. So it sucked to kind of see him take a step back. But yeah, and then Bichette's starting to look a little bit more comfortable, which I like. Simeon too, kind of
Absolutely.
starting to pick
Hmm.
it up a little bit. Clay
Simeon had his
Holmes.
first home run as well.
Thank
Yep.
God.
Yep. Hmm.
Clay Holmes, best start as a Met so far,
Hmm.
so a lot of positives. And then today, Senga looked pretty good. Senga looked really good through about 4 innings, kind of lost the strike zone a little bit, just started. Senga, his big issue is control. Like that whip is always just ballooning. Some
Yeah.
of these seasons, and so we'll see how long he can stay healthy. But
Hmm.
so far he's looked really good. They're very high on him during spring training. I know that they maybe dangled him for trades this offseason, and I think some Mets fans would have traded him, but I was happy to keep him. I think you would have been trading him at his all-time low value, and I'm
Yeah.
never a fan of that. Unless your name's Mark Vientos, in which case I would have done it.
Yeah.
I would have done it. But overall, yeah, 3-1 against the Giants. Can't be too mad about that. So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, obviously the Mets really needed this bounce back. Obviously 9-0 and then 5-2 today. That was a great series win.
come from
And that's
behind too, some clutch hitting, some good
mhm.
bullpen. It was a good win.
Obviously a good bounce back, absolutely. And obviously did better than the Braves. Obviously won their series as opposed to, tying it with the Diamondbacks. And what's crazy is it should have been a sweep, which is the most kind of brutal part about this. I'm like,
Every win, every series should be a sweep.
every
Come
series should
on,
be
what
a
is
sweep when
that?
you're the Atlanta Braves, but I'm like, realistically speaking, the first two games were a ton of fun. So let's look at the positive here. 17-2 to start the series. Man, that was amazing. Realistically speaking, six of those runs were off of James McCann. So, we're
Who
not.
should he even be in the league anymore? I mean, the
I
guy's a
don't I don't know.
bum.
He was
Guy's such a
absolutely
bum.
absolutely terrible this series. I'm surprised that he still even has a job. But yeah, six of those runs came off of James McCann, but 11 of those runs were off of actual pitchers, and it was so exciting. The Braves offense was clicking on all cylinders. Matt Olson looked amazing through the first two games of the series. He went 5 for 15, four RBIs, two home runs. It was a great series for him, and he's really had a lot of success in Arizona. So that's honestly his second home. I'm sure if you asked him, do you love playing here? He was like, yeah, I'd come to Arizona if they gave me
Oh,
$400 million.
I
You know what I
bet.
mean?
I bet. I'd
Yeah,
go to
but
Arizona for $400 million too.
yeah, so yeah, absolutely. And then unfortunately we get to the back half of the series. It was a absolute gem from Bryce Elder to in the third game of the series.
Is he sneaky good?
I don't know yet. I don't want to judge it yet. I honestly don't want to jinx it. You know what I mean? He's had two awesome starts. That sinker looks great. The slider looks nasty. All of the Braves pitchers' sliders have looked really, really good to
Who's
start the year.
who's better in your opinion, Elder or Fuentes?
Elder.
Yeah.
I'm like Elder
So you think
has
they
the
made the right
experience.
call sending
Yeah,
him
yeah.
down?
Absolutely,
Gotcha.
absolutely. I want Didier Fuentes to take a second. I think he's going to be awesome, and I think he's going to be right back up. Martin Perez was still really
He was
good.
good.
Like he
He was
was good
good.
today. He wasn't disappointing. He wasn't like Jose Suarez. He did give up 3 runs, but I'm like realistically speaking, I would have taken that. The pitch mix wasn't terrible, but Bryce Elder clearly is going to have a big spot in this rotation. And realistically speaking, and there's a lot of Braves fans that would find this controversial, but I'm keeping Elder up over Fuentes right now because I would rather develop Fuentes, maybe give him like maybe even a month in AAA to continue to develop while Elder clearly has the stuff. And I said it last podcast, I continue to be guilty of doubting Bryce Elder's capabilities. And listen, if that's
Every team has a player like that.
yeah. And listen, if that sinker isn't cutting back in, well, if it's just floating over the plate, he can be truly terrible. But if things are going well, if those bats are missing and they're not getting hard contact, he's not getting many strikeouts, but he's getting a ton of ground balls, and he's really frustrating for hitters. So you're like, I just can't make good contact on it. But unfortunately, the problem was the offense was just completely asleep. Just a terrible performance pretty much across the board. And we just
Well, except Drake Baldwin was pretty good.
Drake Baldwin was good. Obviously, yes, he was good. Yes, I'm obviously in the final game of the series, he was incredible.
Yeah.
Obviously, another 3 hits, 4 RBIs. I'm like, listen,
Such a stud.
he just continues to rake. I am so happy that he's not having a slump. That honestly, I saw a lot of people predict, is he going to have a slump from the rookie of the year? Is it going to be difficult for him to continue that
And then
production? And
it's
right
like,
now, he is the production on
yeah,
the
what do you
Braves
do with
lineup.
Sean Murphy when he's back too?
I honestly don't know, but realistically speaking, our shutouts have been behind Jonah Heim right now. Clearly, Jonah Heim is awesome for these pitchers
Right.
behind the plate. Clearly, he can't hit a ball to save his life, so he's not going to be
He had that one
producing.
season in Texas, and then after that,
Yeah,
he just
after that,
lost all ability to hit.
pretty much useless at the dish. But when we're talking about behind the dish, he clearly is extremely important. And here's the thing: Sean Murphy is a great asset. So honestly, if Drake keeps on performing and Jonah Heim continues to be a great resource for these pitchers, I'm saying bye bye to Sean Murphy. I'm saying Sean Murphy, go somewhere else, have success. If you want to hit 20 bombs somewhere else, you can do it. But realistically speaking, Drake's got it
I mean,
right now.
listen, it's a great problem to have, right?
Absolutely,
Like, it's a
absolutely.
really good problem. I don't think a lot of teams could say that they have that problem of too many good catchers. So,
Okay, so we've looked at the Braves and the Mets. I think now it's time to look at our NL East counterparts. And let's start off with the team that managed to lose to the Rockies today, the Philadelphia Phillies.
yeah, I mean, hate to shit on the Phillies, right? Hate to speak
Yeah, oh
bad
yeah.
of the Phillies.
Oh, it's just
but-
it really
All right,
pains
so let's
us.
start with the good. The good
Okay,
was they
absolutely.
went 2-1 the first game, 7-run first inning, Harper,
Yeah.
Schwarber, Marsh home run. But I mean, the ball is flying out when Brandon Marsh is hitting a home run. Like that is when you are playing at Coors Field, right? Because I mean that guy. But anywho,
Yeah.
Luzardo, nasty. This guy, I mean, I love this guy. I've really liked him since Miami. His whole thing, he can't really stay healthy. Again,
Yeah.
like the walks are the problem. But this start, 6 2/3, 11 strikeouts, no walks whatsoever, which is really positive. And I know you're going against the Rockies, so there's a little bit of all right. This might be a AAA team,
But something
still.
that I see there is that like if these pitchers like Luzardo are going to have success and be able to build momentum, you need Rocky starts like this. And
Yeah.
people are going to say you played the Rockies, you played the Marlins, you played the whatever. But
Beat who's in front of you.
beat
Though.
who's in
Like,
front of you and use it to gain momentum, because realistically speaking, it's one guy against another guy, and they got to be able to have that confidence that they can kind of produce in that sense. So good for Jesus Luzardo. He needed that start, and clearly, hopefully, he can build that momentum into the games moving forward. But I think something negative that we have to talk about, and we talked about it a little bit last podcast, Bryce Harper. Yes, he had a home run in the series. Brett, he has gone 4 for 25 against the Washington Nationals and the Colorado Rockies.
and then
Listen,
I open
like,
up my TikTok and I see him making coffee. Like, it's a
dude.
2-minute video of him making coffee. Bro, go to the batting cages. Dude, go to practice.
Like, buddy, like they are paying you so much money. And as we talk about, continue to say, yes, you are playing bad teams, but that's when you're supposed to hit. That's where you farm those stats so
Yeah.
that actually when you're in those big and you're a good player and you do finally make that, or if you strike out, you still have those good stats. You still have that stuff to fall back on. And 4 for 25 against arguably some
It's
of
not
the
gonna
worst
cut it.
pitching
It's not gonna
staffs in
cut
the
it.
league. It is just brutal, man. And
Yeah.
I genuinely, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what, like, honestly, kind of positions or adapt that he needs to do to really kind of, I guess, turn the corner here. Because, yes, as Brazen Mets fans, we can hate on Bryce Harper, but everybody can agree
I could
that
do that all
Bryce
day.
Harper. Yeah, but good Bryce Harper is important for baseball.
It's good for baseball. It's
Yeah,
good for
yeah,
baseball.
absolutely. And I will always stand on the side of it's important that good players are good, and he freaking sucks right now. And like he is terrible, and he needs to figure it out genuinely.
Yeah, but I don't know. Might be father time. It catches up to everybody, dude. I mean, he's not a youngster, and that contract is looking gross. But yeah, we talked about the Phillies facing some of the worst pitching. Let's talk about the Marlins facing some of the best pitching in the Bronx.
Yeah,
I mean, they went 1-2.
Hey, shout out tonight. Yeah, absolutely. They got a win. My favorite player is Xavier Edwards right now. He's on my fantasy team. He's playing shortstop for me on my fantasy team. Is he going to win a batting title this year? What do you think?
I don't know. I think Luis Arias would have to get hurt or fall off in a big way for him not to win the batting title. Or Bichette. I mean, he could hit 300, but I think Arias is going to hit 310 again with 3 home runs.
Yeah.
But a guy who I have on my fantasy team, Yuri Perez, was not good in the Bronx.
Yeah.
It was the Yankees home opener, so there was a lot of energy and a lot of excitement from Yankees fans. Yuri Perez, 6 walks, dude. 6 walks.
And the Yankees are really good to start the year with runners in scoring position. And it's just like if you're walking players and against that Yankees lineup, which is truly just filled with
11
superstars.
guys that night, and then they walked 10 the next day. 21 walks issued by pitchers in 2 games is absurd. There's no way you're gonna win a baseball game that way.
Yeah, I'm like, what I would say is that obviously a lot of people would be like, did we jump the gun a little bit on Yuri Perez? Did we get a little bit too excited about that first start? And I don't want to jump off the train yet. You know what I mean? As you said, it was the Yankees home opener. There's a lot of energy. There's, once again, a lot of expectation in the Bronx that they're going to go back and win a World Series. You know what I mean? So I think that realistically, Yuri Perez is still going to have a great year, and I think he just needs to calm down a little bit. He still needs to take some time to mature. Listen, I'm like, he's not a seasoned veteran yet. He's young.
He's
so
going to be good for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am honestly going to give the benefit of the doubt to Yuri Perez here. It looked
22
brutal.
years old. I mean,
yeah. So, but I think that he has the whole season in front of him. But obviously, the Yankees are.
It was funny today, though. I don't know if you got this notification that Pete Fairbanks was starting the game. For
It was a bullpen game. They won the bullpen game.
So I don't know if you know this, but Pete Fairbanks' wife was apparently giving birth, or is very pregnant and about to give birth. So they let him start so he could leave, so he could get out early.
I thought it was just because it was was it not going to be a bullpen game?
No,
either way?
I don't think so. I think Paddock. Yeah,
because Paddock went almost 5.
Paddock
went almost 5.
But he was supposed to start, then he got scratched for Fairbanks. It was just a weird. I got that notification. I was like, did someone get hacked? And if they're hacked, why are they talking about Pete Fairbanks?
But why are they acting like Pete Fairbanks needed to get a turn on the swing? Why? That's kind of weird. I don't know. That's what. Okay, whatever. I genuinely thought that it was a bullpen game. Okay, well that. Honestly, I feel like I need to learn a little bit more about that. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But because then they also had Nardi come in for another inning, and then
who
brought
knows
in
what
Paddock.
the Marlins are doing?
I don't whatever, man.
They're
whatever,
not a
dude.
winning baseball team. They're not. I mean, they are. They are in the standings.
They are currently a winning baseball
They're
team.
first place in the standings. So let me not say that.
Hey, listen, it worked. It worked. They won.
It did work. I mean, whatever they're doing, keep it going.
But yeah,
Which is
definitely.
more than the Nationals can say. 0-3 versus the Dodgers, which is, expected.
Okay,
But they
well,
were
the
up.
Dodgers are the Avengers. Like
They
at
were
this
up
point, like
6-1 today, though. They could have won today's game
should have. They
against
should,
Sasaki, who just is like brutal to watch.
dude.
I don't know. He's just awful.
Is Sasaki a bust?
Sasaki's a huge bust right now.
I don't even. I
100%.
like. I
He shouldn't have
honestly
gotten a
think
rotation spot.
it's kind of weird to me because the thing is like if Sasaki does genuinely end up being a bust, realistically, it will have no effect on the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Zero,
They
but
like
he went to the front runner, and then everyone was like, "Man, I can't wait to see this guy struggle," and he has struggled. I mean,
Yeah.
I know he was pretty good in the postseason last year, but yeah. Anyways, about the Nationals, Miles Michaelis, bro, go to Korea or something. You are not an MLB pitcher. That line was disgusting. Every time I saw a tweet online that was like, every time I see Miles Michaelis throw a breaking ball, it looks like it's a position player. Like I have to do a double check, make sure it's not a position player because it is genuinely just so bad. Like it is just
God.
it's really rough for Miles Michaelis right now, but it's not rough for CJ Abrams, who had a huge series against the Dodgers. He looks, I mean, I know they didn't try to trade him, but he was on the table this offseason, and they were like, we're not trading him for anything less than a huge package. And I think a lot of people are like, really? Like CJ Abrams? Like he's good, don't get me wrong, but like he had a great series. He's been great to start off the year. So, good for them. I like them having some pieces because I don't know, they don't really have much. They
Hey,
really
and
don't have
listen, as
much.
long as he stands off FanDuel or doesn't stay at the casino
The
too much
casino.
longer,
The
you stay at
casino
the
in
casino too
Chicago.
long, hopefully he can stop the gambling and focus on the sports and have a full season where he doesn't have some sort of controversy or
Yeah, he doesn't have an Emmanuel Classe issue there.
yeah, hey, listen, I'm like at this point, like I would not be surprised if like it's like, there's like a thing where like a bunch of guys were using like underdog or prize picks or something and like dude,
Burner
it's just
account.
burner accounts or something like that. But yeah, it was definitely a great series for Abrams. Obviously the first two games, it didn't work out in the third game. They were leading 6-1 and I saw it and I was like, "Hey, hopefully the Marlins and the Nats are going to pull one back for the NL East and
Nope.
not make it look as brutal for us against the
Although
NL West."
I do like seeing the Yankees lose. As a Mets fan, I
Yes.
do love seeing the Yankees lose.
Yes,
So
I will always be down to see the Yankees and the Dodgers lose. Unfortunately, they're not going to lose that much.
they're not going to lose much. No.
But yes, it's important for them to lose, and it's important for the NL East. I think something that we're definitely going to incorporate a little bit later in the season, and let us know if you're interested in this, is we're going to keep records on divisions. You know what I mean? Because obviously we're an NL East podcast. You know what I mean? So we want to see how we're stacking up against other divisions. If it's the NL East against the NL West that we saw, or NL East against the whole of the American.
AL East pretty nasty too.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna see, and hopefully, the NL East can win some important series this year.
Yeah, it's now time for a temperature check where we check the temperature of how we're feeling about our team. And I'll go first. I said a 7 last episode. I'm still gonna say a 7. I know we went 3-1, and it was a great
Really?
series. Yes, of course. Well, first of all, you have to bake in the Juan Soto to the
I
panic
guess that's
level.
true. Yeah,
Because if he's out for 4 to 6 weeks, that's gonna be a big loss for the Mets. Obviously,
Yeah.
problems still exist. Running in scoring position was good today, but throughout the series was actually pretty good. But I still worry. Like that's just a big generational worry of every Mets fan because it just seems like they can never do it. And then, yeah, still unsure about Peterson. He looked okay his first outing, looked really bad his second outing, so not really sure where we stand there. Seems like Bichette, Simeon starting to break out a little bit. Luis Robert looked really good again. I mean, he's just been like really good this season. It seems like it's just like a big change of scenery candidate. It happened last year for Andrew Vaughn. He was playing in Chicago. He gets moved to the Brewers, and then he kind of just breaks out and has been really good ever since. And it feels like it's kind of the same thing, although there was one play out in the field where Robert should have called off Simeon. It was awkward. It was the one game that they lost, so obviously, it gets blown up a little bit more. But yeah, the Mets have been really solid. Going into the game on Sunday, fourth best ERA in baseball across the board. Their bullpen has been nails. Devin Williams has looked great. So there's always room for concern, and I think a 7 is justified just because I think you got to give at least 4 or 5 of those points to Soto. I mean, that is like the guy in the offense, and if he's out 4 to 6 weeks, that's huge, especially when you got big series coming up, especially against the Diamondbacks, and then you got the Dodgers next week. So, not awful. 3-1 went. Had a good week if you're a Mets fan, but some concern there.
Yeah, I'm like, listen, based on this lineup that I just saw from the Diamondbacks, Arenado looks freaking brutal, dude. That dude is absolutely washed.
He might be cooked.
Yeah. He made 2 huge errors in this series, which
very unlike
Nolan Arenado making errors is a crazy sentence. And honestly, like, their lineup, other than Ketel Marte and Corbin Carroll, which if they get going, yes, obviously, they're going to be scoring some runs. But if you hold them off like the Braves did for those first 2 games.
I like Perdomo too.
Yeah, Perdomo, but he didn't have a super great series. Yeah. So I'm like, but unfortunately, if he doesn't, most likely he's going to probably play pretty well against the Mets. But you've mentioned multiple times that usually is how it goes. But honestly, based on what I'm seeing, if you take 3 from the Giants, I'm at least expecting a similar split 2-2 for the Mets, and then for the A's, I'm expecting a series win for y'all. Anything less, I think would be bad for y'all. Looking at the Braves, I'm honestly gonna go 5. You know what I mean? I'm like, yes, obviously it would have been great to take the series, but right now, a lot of people were saying rotation at the beginning of the year. It was gonna be this big deal that we didn't have Spencer. We didn't have 2 Spencer Swellenbach as well. We're 2nd in rotation ERA, 4th in opponent average, and 5th in WHIP to start the year.
That's pretty
good. We've had 3 shutouts. Bryce Elder is looking great out there. Grant Holmes in the second game had a no-hitter through the 6th inning. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is right now. I don't know if it's that brand spanking new pitching coach that's really kind of injecting that energy into this rotation right now, but in the ERA,
I kind of miss him. Jeremy Hefner, I kind of miss him.
Yeah, I know. And he's been great for us, man. I'm like, the pitching looks great. That is not the issue right now. The issue is the offense, and 2 gentlemen, to be specific, and I'm calling them out right now, Ronald Acuna Jr. and Austin Riley. What is going on, bro? Ronald, stop swinging at pitches that are above the zone. There is a reason why there's a strike zone, and you have plate discipline, so you don't swing when balls are above. Like, it is.
Not to butt in too much, but Lindor is the same way. It is so frustrating, dude.
Oh my God!
Like, and then how many times are you gonna swing at this curveball?
And then Austin is just getting sawed off almost every at bat. Like, if you look at all of his at bats, I think he's popped out 15 times. Like,
he was a big bounce back candidate too, and I think he still could. Yeah,
and he had a double, and he had a couple RBIs, but he was 2 for 11. And then today, he gets the day off. Which, did he need a day off? Realistically, he's not freaking doing anything.
Right. Maybe to clear the mental, though.
Clear the mental. Well, it didn't clear the mental because he came in and pinched it. He popped out, and then he flew out. And, we gave him all of this money, and, he's
You're fed up.
Dude, it pisses me off, man. Like, he has all of this money, and we have such great history of third baseman in this freaking organization, and he isn't delivering. And listen, yes, it's the beginning of the season. Is he going to hit 30 home runs? Is he going to have 70 RBIs? Probably. I don't know. But I don't even know if he's going to hit 240 right now. Like, it has been a terrible start to the year. And Ronald had a couple hits today, so a little bit of step in the right direction for him. But they both have been really brutal, and we're very lucky that we have Drake Baldwin on this team. We have Matt Olson.
In Drake Baldwin, we trust.
And I would like to say, I am a Mauricio Dubon stan right now.
You always are. You always have been.
Dude, I love me some Mauricio Dubon. Like, he's hitting the ball really hard. He is playing some incredible defense. The dude can play literally anywhere. Like, I love this guy. And I honestly, every day that goes by, I don't want Ha-Seong Kim to come back. I've been having a lot of fun. If it's him out and left replacing Eli White, you know what I mean? So it's been great. I'm gonna go 5. I'm feeling confident that, we're gonna be going into LA. We're gonna win. We're gonna win that series.
Okay.
But I think coming back, I'm scared of Chase DeLauder. I'm scared of the Guardians. Like, they look great. They took
Scared of the
that series.
Guardians?
Dude, they took that series from LA. I'm like,
I
they
don't.
look good, and DeLauder has looked really good as well.
All
Okay.
right, so are you going with Drake Baldwin for your player of the series, or
No,
you got
no, because
someone
I
else?
don't want to repeat myself. I'm gonna go Matt Olson. Matt Olson, 5 for 15, 4 RBIs, 2 home runs. As I said, he loves Arizona. He was great this series. Unfortunately, he did not show up for the last game, but he still really produced, and that swing was looking great. Had a couple doubles, so I really liked him, and we're lucky to have him in this lineup because, as I said, it's been a little difficult for the rest of the guys.
Totally. My player of the series, I mentioned him earlier. Can't believe I'm saying it, honestly. Mark Vientos, great
Yeah.
series in San Francisco. Had a hit every single game, played every single game, first base and DH, so kind of switched off a little bit. Homered. I mean, if you can get anything from this guy after what we saw last year and what we saw in spring training and on the Nicaragua WBC team. I
Yeah.
mean, he looked brutal. He was like 1 for 25 with like ton of strikeouts at one point. So the fact that he is hitting anything at all is amazing. It
Okay.
really is. It really is.
So really, I think one of the most important things that we need to talk about is your right fielder. Currently, Carson Benj had a great opening day. Congratulations to the guy. He hit a home run. I don't know if you know this. A couple other people have hit home run in the history of Major League Baseball, and a couple other rookies have done it on opening day as well. Oh my God, he's looked absolutely awful. And I looked at his BABIP just to be sure that he wasn't getting unlucky. He has a 125 BABIP
You can't
average.
be unlucky if you're striking out all the time.
It's been really bad. I think it's time for him to head back to Syracuse because it has been really, really bad.
I don't know. It has been really, really bad. And I've wrestled with this with you, with other Mets fans, with my family. It's just like, it takes time for these guys to adjust. It really does. He was moved up incredibly fast throughout the minor leagues. And then, he had a great spring training. He made the team, starting right fielder, obviously, for the New York Mets in 2026. And he's looked overmatched. I will give
Yeah.
you that. I will give you that. However, so have a lot of other rookies. I mean, just two big names that I'll name real quick. Last year, Nick Kurtz, before he had that injury and before he went on a rampage after that IL stint, looked totally overmatched. His strikeout rate was
And to
through
start
the
this year,
roof.
he has also looked
And to
really,
start
really
this
brutal.
year, it's like,
Yeah.
he has a huge hole in his swing where he lets up a huge amount of the strike zone where he's just striking out a ton. And then also Jack Caglione. I mean, this is another top prospect with like crazy power who was not very good last year. I think he hit in like the 150s, So and this year he's off to a better start. But there's holes in there.
But Brett, it's okay for the lights to be a little bit bright
And
to
they
start
are,
the year.
and I think he would say the same thing. But I don't know. I just don't think he has anything else to prove down in AAA. And if Tauchman didn't get hurt,
but that's not AAA. AAA isn't about proving things. It's about building yourself up. It's
But he
about
needs
continuing
at-bats,
to build
dude.
your tools. Yes, he's going to get at bats in AAA. It's been brutal, man.
know.
And listen, his confidence is going to continue to nosedive. He has a 100 average right now. I don't even want to look at his OPS. I'm like, it is
bad.
It's really,
bad.
really bad.
And he looks like boy against men. You know what I mean? Like, he just
100%.
looks like skinny string bean. Like, obviously very different from Connor Griffin, who's like built. That's a big dude. Like, great debut. Good for Connor Griffin, 19 years old, really cool. But no, I think Benj will be fine. He plays some good defense. We've only seen his arm like once, and it looks pretty good. So they're trying him in center field. They're obviously having him in right field. So like, he plays good defense. His bat will come around. Will that look like, a 280 with 15 home runs this year? Probably not. If we're being honest, if we're being really honest with ourselves, it's probably more like 240, 250, maybe 10 home runs, 40, 50 RBIs.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is he can do that in the second half. So
he could.
Yeah. So,
but no, I would keep him up. If you're
okay.
asking me if I would send him down or if I would keep him up, I would keep him up.
Okay, so let's look ahead. What are we looking at? To start, obviously, I did mention it for the Braves. We got the Angels, and then we got the Guardians. The Angels are starting Jose Soriano to start, who has looked really, really good to start the year. I don't know if you've had a second to look at Jose.
Yeah, he's been a dark horse. He's been sneaky good.
Yeah, he's looked good. Reed Detmers, who's going to be starting the third of the series. Every time I see Yusei Kikuchi on that starter, I do not have any. I think Yusei Kikuchi is honestly one of the weirder pitchers in the majors, and I'm just not intimidated by the guy. I think that he just throws junk. But
Sure.
Reed Detmers and Jose Soriano are great pitchers. Obviously, Detmers has had the no-hitter and has started the year well, but I honestly think they haven't really. But then again, they did face the Mariners. I don't know. I'm going to go, 2-1 for that. And then, as I said, I'm concerned about the Guardians. So I honestly don't really know what we're looking at right now. But I think that there might be a chance they come into Atlanta and give us a pretty difficult time. But I definitely think we're going to go into Anaheim and win that series.
Yeah, I mean, I could see both of those things happening. Chase DeLauder is pretty freaking good.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
There was one swing like on a 3-1 pitch or a 3-0 pitch. No, 3-1.
Was it a sinker or a changeup inside that was an insane swing.
It was crazy. It was like nothing I've ever seen before. He just moves his hand so quick to get in that inside pitch. But yeah, the Mets, we kind of touched on it earlier, face Arizona, face the A's. Well, let's talk about Arizona first. D-backs just faced the Braves. Looked pretty bad, offensively especially. So I think I'll feel okay. Their pitching has not been good at all, aside from Zach Gallen randomly outdueling Tarek Skubal. So I think
y'all will miss Eduardo Rodriguez.
Yes,
right? Yes.
WBC legend.
Yes, who did look really good in that second game. Because we only won that game 2-0 because we hit those two home runs.
Yeah,
in the ninth,
and they just announced Merrill Kelly's gonna have another rehab start, so we won't face him. So I think they could win 2 games against the Diamondbacks. They could also lose 2 games. I can see it going both ways. But the A's, I think, I feel a little bit more confident about their chances. A's are the second top strikeout team in the league, so it should be a good matchup for the Mets. And it will be Jeff McNeil's home return to Citi Field. So curious to see what kind of reception he gets. I think he'll get a nice ovation. I think Mets fans are removed.
Do Mets fans have any beef with Jeff McNeil?
I mean, there was
flying squirrel.
Raccoon.
He had his own.
Yeah, he had his whole beef in the lot. Like, who knows? But really about everything. But I think he'll get a nice ovation. I think Mets fans can appreciate what he did and also accept the fact that he was fine. He was fine. He won a batting title and he was okay. He was a good piece to the team. But yeah. So if you had to ask me, I think 4-2. Would be the prediction for these couple series. I'll go 2-1 and then 2-1.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, guys, I think that's gonna kind of wrap it up for today. Please follow us on Spotify. Check us out on Instagram and TikTok as well.
Yeah, we're dropping some heat there. We got people in the comments arguing. I mean,
there was that one Phillies and Braves fan. They were getting personal, man.
Yeah.
Please,
we love to see it. We love the beef. We love the beef of the NL East.
Yeah. But hey, this has been Division Therapy. Peace.